more the merrier. So hello, Charlotte. We have Ryan today.
Hey.
Yes, it's been a while since we've gone live. So now and when I put this on social media, it's like a business coach, a lender, a broker walk into a bar. But now we have a realtor actually. So there's the four of us walking into the bar having a drink.
Yeah.
Well, I'm actually in Ryan's neck of the woods. I'm visiting family in Phoenix. So my Phoenix folks and I are meeting for lunch on Monday.
Yeah.
So that'll be really fun. Yeah.
I apologize for the heat. Yeah.
Well, it's not your fault. It is not your fault. But whoa. It took me 2 days to acclimate. Like today, I actually went for a walk today. I tried to walk 2 miles and I actually did it at 11, not at 4. I did it at 11. But there's no way I could have done that on Sunday. No way.
Yeah, no, it was blazing.
What is the temperature like? Like, what are we talking about?
It was like 112 on Sunday.
Yeah,
I think it's 104 or something in Queen Creek right now.
No, thank you.
It's not bad right now. But yeah, once it gets 112, 113, it's hot.
It was brutal. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then yesterday I'm like, okay, I'm starting to acclimate. But it was also cooler. It was like 108.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And there was a little cloud coverage, always helps. And
yeah.
But it's hot. Make no mistake about it. It's
no. However, back at home, the air quality is really, really bad. And I know how's it for you, Karen? Are you having air qualities because of the fires?
It's terrible. Yes.
Yeah.
We earlier. Well, I guess late last week, we were the worst in the nation. And our numbers have been flying above unhealthy for most of the week.
Yep, ours too. Yeah. Yeah, I had my son-in-law go to my house and turn off my whole house fan. I said, please go turn that off.
Yeah, you don't want to get that in the house. We're lucky we haven't had any of the air quality. I guess I'm far enough east that it's not headed this direction. And I'm not going to rub in how beautiful it is here. I'll just let you know it's not 108. It's pretty nice here in the East Coast.
All right, so we're going to go around in a circle about what's happening in real estate. And I know some of us were, behind the scenes talking about larger coaching companies that are coming out with their predictions, and it's there's a couple that have gone out this week. And one of the common denominator I'm hearing is the professionals are going to survive any market, right? And, and the NAR hasn't changed. I think it's still 78, maybe 80% of the realtors don't renew their second year. That hasn't changed. So what's kept you in, Ryan? And what's happening in your world?
So, I've been in the real estate for about 10 years now. So, these last year or two, whatever, has been the first time I've really had to see this kind of market, right? So, but I'm there. I'm just trying to stack listings, even though that they're potentially staying on the market for a little bit longer, and then just trying to work my sphere and just be there, because what I'm doing now, I'm focusing a lot on people that I think are going to be in the market like spring of next year or the middle of next. Like people are just a little hesitant. Buyers are a little wishy-washy, and so I'm not trying to rush, and I'm just trying to kind of just be a resource, just be a resource. And
sure,
we're trying to build up our systems and our events and that kind of thing right now as well. So
yeah, I had a coach call today with another gentleman, and he showed me his potential category. Like, this is what I have potential for 2026, and we actually went through each of. He has 8 potentials, and we went through each one, and then we actually determined that he's 99.9% sure half will close this year and the other half will be 2027. So he does not have 8 potentials for 2026, which was a little discouraging. Yeah.
Well, and just, we've talked about this a little bit on our coach calls, just the number of clients that I've had this year that have really just backed out and just dried out, whether they're sellers that are nervous and just, I'm going to give my rental another year and see if the market gets stronger, in their words. I've never had this many people just kind of back out of the process. They're still with me. I still have their trust, and, unless they're gaslighting me and I just don't know it or whatever, but
nah, you're too nice.
Yeah. It's unique. It's an interesting time. And so, it is what it is.
It is what it is. So Karen, how about you? And then obviously Charlotte, you're next. But Karen, what's because I know we've talked about that. having a strong potential, however they're sitting.
Right. So interestingly enough, there's a panel that I'm on right now. We collected ourselves to make a panel for agents, to lenders, and really trying to identify why are people waiting? What is it, and how can we help open a conversation about that? Not necessarily to hustle it, but to learn more about it and see if there are solutions that we have for them. And then, even more importantly, just another way of kind of hanging on to them. A little bit of what we talked about before about being creative with how and why you're reaching out to your database and your sphere of influence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and staying on top of the changes. So I have another client. So the client I just referenced is in Texas, and I have another client in Colorado Springs who is saying she is not surprised anymore of all the seller concessions. Like it could be up to 10 to 20,000 to buy down points, and all of that's happening. That's so the exact opposite of COVID when we were giving them our firstborn and everything else, right?
Yeah.
So so being communicative with your clients, it will make life easier. So Charlotte, obviously you're managing a bunch of coaches now. Congratulations. And lenders. What are you seeing?
It's interesting you brought up the seller concessions, because I would like to give an alert out there to my agents who haven't been paying attention to seller concessions. 10,000 is the bare minimum. That's without points, guys. That closing costs
and that's exactly what my client said.
Expensive. Yeah. I mean, between insurance that has doubled, if not quadrupled in some areas, you have to build up for your escrows and for your first year of insurance. So if you've got this buyer who, in order to get into the house, now they're having to put more money down, because that's the reality. A lot of times they're having to use every penny they've got for that down payment to get lower MI, to get that, to get that sweet spot. They are needing those seller concessions. And I have had 3 conversations this week with agents that are like, really? You really need $9,000? I'm like, yeah. And that's just bare minimum. Like our fees have gone up $100. It's not like we've gone up all this great amount. It's just that between the cost of credit bureaus alone used to cost $45, but now they got rid of trigger leads. So the credit bureaus had to up. In 1 year, they went from $50 to upwards of $300 is what you're looking at for a credit report fee. And that will go up next year, guys. That is just the first.
It blows me away. Yeah. So I'm going to interrupt for a second because poor Karen had to deal with me when she told me I had to pay $1,000 for my HOA docs.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
That's not what I said.
There is some sticker shock, because I mean, even 2 years ago, I would have said $6,500 to $7,500 is about your baseline. If you were just said, Charlotte, how much do I need in seller concessions? Just right off the top of my head for a general purchase price, right? My market is a little bit different. Our average is like 300,000. That's the number I would give. Now, if you're above 300,000, you're going to be in the upwards of 10. So there's just this sticker shock that everything on that fee sheet, title fees, insurance, all of those things have ticked up. So it's not that the lender is gouging. And my PSA for today is realtors, your lenders aren't gouging you when they need 10,000 in closing costs. That's cost.
Well, and it's an educational piece that we've got to just make sure the sellers are with, because it's not just closing costs either. Buyers can go in and say, fix this for me during the inspection process. They're because they've got options. You're not going to fix this, fine. I'm going to go to my next option. There's 5 houses in my wheelhouse right now that I could take a swing at. So we're seeing a lot of really bold repairs requests, like really crazy stuff that I would be like, hey, this is like a cosmetic thing. And they're like, no, I want it done. Like, all right, we'll ask, so.
Well, again, what we're saying is swinging towards being a buyer's market. I really don't have a problem with buyers having a turn. Sellers have had a phenomenal run, right? And a lot of increase in equity, right? Especially during COVID, that it's okay to have the pendulum swing. I really am okay with that. Even though I am not a buyer right now, I will be a seller again soon. And my adult children are selling their home with 15 homes in their subdivision with pretty much the same model.
It's crazy.
That is another problem that we're seeing is people that got in when that market, the only thing you could buy is new construction there for a while, right? They were all buying cookie cutter new construction. And so when they are going to sell, there's not that unique, my house stands out. You really are in, all of these apples are the same. Which one are you?
We're in an apple. We are in the apple. And I am in the
Yeah.
apple basket with my adult children because I moved here to be
Lots
near
of
them,
them.
right?
Right. Yeah. Lots of people are. Back when it was a little bit more, some new, some old, you had some, my house has this. Look, it's more unique.
Right.
And these homes haven't been around long enough to build that character. They will get there over time, but they haven't built that unique character yet.
No, not yet. All right. So
I think
go ahead, Karen. Go ahead. You're sorry. We have a lag. So go. I didn't mean to talk over you.
We have a lag. Yeah. I think one of the interesting things about this market is generally the last party to know that it's a buyer's market are the sellers, right? They're the last ones to actually catch on. In this unique market, the buyers haven't really caught on so much yet, right? Those that we're actively in the field with are hearing it and seeing it, but all of those that we talked about, like in the pipeline, they're still a little bit unclear that's where
okay, so I'm going to ask you a coaching question. All of you, like, then how do you quickly get out there and educate buyers? Because I'm hearing it
back to that panel I just talked about that we created was right, like, so we can really figure out what it is that we need to be discussing.
Yeah. And Ryan, so talk about your podcast, because I am so proud of you that you started the podcast, and I've been blessed and honored to be on your podcast. That is a perfect venue for you to be educating buyers right now. So go ahead and pitch your podcast.
Yes. Search I'm on all three platforms: YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the main ones. The Houses and Spouses podcast. And it's Houses and Spouses because I'm a real estate agent, but I'm also a wedding officiant, and I've done over 200 wedding ceremonies. So it's been fun. Tanya, we talked about this a long time ago last year. I kicked it off in December of last year, and then I just released my 27th episode last week. And it was quick hitter episode where I just described some HOA rulings that have taken place in Arizona and the way that they can operate. And it was quick and it's educational, and dad jokes every single time that are
every
awful.
single time.
Yeah. So, but it's good. And it's one of those things where it could be very easy to get discouraged when you're doing a podcast, because there's a million of them. You think of like the Joe Rogans, and I'm gonna quit being a real estate agent. I'm just gonna be a podcaster. But my audience is very small. It's my family, it's my friends, and then my clients are starting to gravitate towards it. But so if I could release an episode that bombs and doesn't get anything. But I've sat across two separate buyers on two separate occasions earlier this year, where we sit down and I'm like, hey, how's it going? What are you up to? Just like talking. They're like, we just got done listening to the episode of Katie and Kurt on your podcast when they talked about buying and, all that stuff. And I'm like, it makes it worth it, because if you're hitting those people, then that's my niche. Right. And so, but it's fun. I mean, it's a lot of fun. And I think that if people want to do a podcast and they're intimidated, I'm happy to jump on a 5-minute call and let you know. Like it's so.
Well, I might just ragoon you into doing a pop-up training.
Oh, I love it. I would absolutely do.
So let's do one next month, right? So Karen's got this month, and Charlotte did a phenomenal one. Everybody raves about Charlotte's pop-up. Was it the one on? It was the ChatGPT AI one,
right? Versus
right. But you also did a Canva pop-up training. So let's do a pop-up training, because there's quite a few people that are very much wanting to get their voice out, that aren't shy. My shy people probably won't come, but I'll never know. I owe you all a coffee. I just said a self-limiting belief. You never know.
Sure.
Be interested. No,
well, and it could turn into just like your own kind of personal therapy also. Like, all right, I want to talk about this. I did a really personal episode about when we just lost our dog a couple of months ago.
Well, and you did one that had me in tears over your dad.
My dad.
Over Father's Day.
Yeah. I've been thinking about that for years. My dad died when he was 51, like 13 years ago in a tragic Jeep accident. So I've never really told the story about like how it feels and how, how we're kind of still going through that. And so, not real estate or wedding related at all, but probably my most popular, episode across all three platforms, and probably the one that got the most non-client and non-family members to watch and listen. but yeah, it's just fun. I mean, it's another way
I
to
can
kind of
tell
reach
that you
clients.
really
And,
like it.
oh yeah,
really
absolutely.
tell. Yeah.
And and I recorded 2 today. I recorded a solo one, but then Coach, I recorded one that we're going to use to relaunch our client appreciation program under the new brand.
Good. And I
GHR
really
network.
wanted you to do that one, so I'm
Yep.
looking forward to that.
Yeah,
one.
Tori and I did that today.
Okay, cool.
That's
Very
awesome.
cool. Awesome. So when this is done and it's on all the platforms, they'll go into the comments and put your podcast link in there.
Yeah,
if you
absolutely.
would. Okay.
I will.
All right, Karen, you're up. As a broker, onboarding new agents, keeping agents motivated, what's your topic of what you want to bring up around that?
Oh, just I've been talking a lot to my agents, and a lot of it is in brainstorming, right? Trying to come up with ideas, other ways to stay in front of their database, their sphere of influence, and even their farms too. Like, this is the time. I always like being a little bit outside of the box, but this is especially the time, right? The agents who are staying in the business are all doing the same thing that we're doing, trying to stay in touch with people, get in front of people. So how can we be a little more creative with this? And that's what a lot of conversations are about. So not just the rhythm, but what we're actually putting out there.
And again, I'm going to piggyback on what Charlotte said. This is a perfect time to get out there, either in a workshop, go do a workshop with a lender, do a video, educate buyers on how they can actually, afford getting into a home right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because, if they're still not quite up to snuff, knowing it's a buyer's market, let's get them up to snuff, right?
Yeah.
Telling the story of somebody that you actually were working with as a buyer that was hitting their head against the wall trying to put offers in, and who just got this amazing offer that was 10,000 under with seller concessions would be a really good story right now. And that's happening.
Yeah.
I mean, we're seeing that.
Yeah, same in new construction. So I coach. So another conversation with a couple that I coach in Southern Texas, who just got their buyer in a phenomenal new construction with their window treatments paid for. It was amazing what they got for that buyer. That if a buyer went in by themselves, never would have thought to have asked. That's another workshop, or video, or podcast, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
So. Yeah, well, Karen, your agents are very lucky to have you and very blessed. So, get them going, and please don't let them listen to the gloom and doom. There's a reason horses wear blinders, right? To focus on their business.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and we talked about it more, that instead of doom and gloom, there is some reality there. Done talking about that, right? It's real, it's here. What are we going to do with it?
Yeah.
Right. Well, you mentioned it earlier again when we were talking before we went live, is, being consistent, communicating, right? Please, I've had many clients learn their lesson the hard way, where ostriching doesn't work. Right?
No.
Yeah. All right. So and go ahead. Again, go ahead.
Sorry. And probably more so in this market than any other previous market, because of the AI piece of it, where things are moving so fast. So if you do ostrich for whatever reason, when you pop your head up, you're going to be lost.
Yeah.
And I have an interesting story. So I coach somebody who's selling, in fact, they're home closed, so I don't coach them anymore. Our coaching relationship ended when he closed on his home. So a seller called me and asked me to coach him through selling his home. Nice. I've never had that happen, but true story, right? Because he interviewed 3 agents who told him all 3 different things. And then he went to ChatGPT and it told him not to sell his home till September. I'm like, what the F?
Yeah.
And this was a few months ago. I'm like, no, you're putting it on the market early summer, right? But ChatGPT, just wait till September. So anyway, right, that's when he called me and said, Tanya, I just don't know what to do. My head is spinning. So that was fun. But yeah, it's
And to piggyback on that, and to plug Ryan's YouTube, can I just mention, as someone that does have a lot of lender and real estate and title friends, the amount of AI slop that I am seeing right now is through the roof. Mm-hmm. So can I just tell you, I think YouTube is going to get an insurgence. Just you wait. If you were thinking about doing a YouTube channel, it's time. because people are sick of AI slop. And you know what YouTube channel is not? YouTube channel is you being real on video. And I would say the more real you can be on that video, the better. But as somebody that sees all the AI slop, and then I get sucked into much more of the real. So I think
I want you to say, I want you to actually repeat what you just said. And Karen, I know you know somebody that I coach that I want to have a YouTube channel.
Now is the time. I feel like if you can get in there right now and really, the problem with YouTube is marketing it on the social platforms because they're competitors, right? So they're not going to be promoted. So you've really got to market it like a business. I mean, honestly, you wear your shirts, you tell everybody about it. It's on your cards, you sell it. But the reality is I can't imagine YouTube not seeing an increase because of the AI slop that people are getting more and more sick of. I think now is the time.
So I had a couple of days ago, there was a post that had me stop the scroll. I always stop my scroll with my clients. I want to see what they're doing, right? None of my clients did this, and I still stopped the scroll. It was a piece of paper that I don't know, I forgot if it was a coach or a realtor, somebody just drew like a stick figure and like the sun. I mean, it was just a stick picture. And they said, I'd rather see your real estate flyer look like this than an AI post.
Oh, that's
AI
funny.
Generated flyer. And it made me stop the scroll. And I'm like, yes, I'd rather, because that's what it was. I'd rather see you generate a flyer like this than what's coming off of AI. And I so agree. 100%. Yep. All right, Charlotte. I am so proud and happy for you're like you're coaching coaches and and interviewing clients on what kind of coaching they want. So share a little that you can share.
It has been a really cool first week. So, and I know you're going to be so shocked that my first day was August 1st, but of course the week before I had already got like 8 interviews in, and I started.
I'm not shocked. Yeah.
Charlotte's go button is really big. I have a very big go button.
Her start is very strong.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's not talk about any of the other pieces.
Start and finish. It's just that middle. So the interesting thing, what I've been doing is just talking to people that are in coaching, have been in coaching, and or manage people in coaching and lean into coaching. And it has just been Tanya's not going to be surprised by any of this, I know, because she hears it all the time. But it has been very eye-opening to hear what people expect from coaching and then what they're not getting. But one of the big things that I've heard is, my coach they weren't hard enough. They weren't hard enough to make me change. And there is some reality to that, right? I mean, Tanya's got a great backbone. If I need somebody to have a backbone, they've got a backbone. But I kept on hearing.
Oh, Charlotte would walk all over me if I didn't do it.
But then, so I got some clarity, and it was interesting because I said, so what you want is for somebody to say, okay, here's what you've committed to, and you didn't do it. How do you want them to be hard on you? Tell me what a perfect world would be. And I got to the bottom of it with 3 people. It was really interesting. They said it's not that, they would say, hey, why didn't you get it done? But, I could control the narrative. So the difference is, and this was basically the only difference between what I get from good coaching and what they feel like they weren't getting and why they dropped off was because they're strong enough personalities because they're salespeople to be able to be like, yeah, but look over here at this shiny squirrel that I did. And they control the conversation rather than being held
or the coach is buying their excuses.
Right. Well, or the coach was easily distracted or led. They weren't leading the conversation.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting.
So what I heard this entire time was they need the leader. They need coaches that are leaders, not listeners, which it was interesting, not tell them what to doers, but someone that could take that conversation. And it was just a little eye-opening. I'm like, okay, so what we have to develop in our coaches and what we have to, because they are all extremely empathetic. And my goodness, one of my coaches has so many ideas. Like you could never run out of ideas if you needed help to get an idea. He's great at that. But it was just really interesting that the reason it was falling flat was because they were hearing the excuse, but then they would let the other lead, and they wanted a leader, not a mean, like, hey, they don't want to slap. They just wanted somebody that wouldn't take the BS and keep the conversation in these lanes.
Yep.
So that was just really interesting. I'm like, all right, well, I think I can teach leaders. I feel like, yeah, I can teach leaders.
I'll help you. Yes, and one of the things you and I are working on is you never ask a why question.
Right. Yeah,
Right?
That's right. Yeah. And
You never ask a what? Sorry, I missed that.
Yeah,
never
no
ask
why
a why.
questions.
Okay.
Why? Ryan, when you and I coach, I mean, I don't, now you're going to listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
I will never, ever, ever ask you why you didn't do something. What got in your way?
Yeah.
How are we going to move this going forward? How
That
or
makes
what?
sense.
Do it.
Never why.
How?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My how questions have been like 100 today. I think I asked at least 50 how questions with my team and with the people that I'm talking to.
Yeah. In my executive world of coaching, that is the biggest eye opener for them when they're doing, one-on-ones with their direct reports, is never why. And it's a lot harder than it sounds.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right. It's just a lot harder than it sounds. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a few of those techniques, like the alley-oop I've taught Karen, and Charlotte has a modified alley-oop. Ryan, when you have direct reports or you're managing, I mean, alley-oop works with kids. So someday I'll do a pop-up training on the alley-oop because it's extremely helpful with helping people who are stuck, including kids. I just can't do it with my kids because they'll say, Mom, stop doing that coaching shit with me, so it doesn't work. That's why you don't coach family.
Makes sense.
Another
I
interesting.
have a question I want to throw out there, and then Charlotte, I'll circle back. Is because I texted Ryan this the other day, because I know he had a video on what do you do when family members use another lender, or what do you do when family members use that don't use you, right? And so Ryan had a really fun video where he was shoving a human in his trunk because, right, a friend or family member used another realtor. Has that ever happened to either of you?
I mean, yeah. I mean, there's definitely been people that haven't used me that I'm like, why, even though I don't, but so yes, I guess.
Yeah. Karen, you?
Yes. And so not family, friend. And then during the transaction asked me questions / advice.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. And so do you give the advice, or do you deflect it?
Deflect. I mean, to protect my brokerage, I have to deflect it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is you legally and ethically can't give information or guidance or whatever. It's interesting though. I took one of my closings from this earlier in this month. She's an old friend from an old teacher, and so we set up a happy hour, and that was my gift to her. I was going to take her and her daughter, who was also my second client ever, and I got them a 10-year gift. I've got 2 10-year gifts, Tanya. You'd be
awesome.
Happy to know that. But they brought another teacher that I knew that I was really close with back in my previous life. And then I found out as we're sitting there, as I'm buying all this food and drinks, including for her, that she had, gone with a different agent. She's asking me about, we're getting ready to list our house and and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. And she asked like a direct question, and I was like, you should talk to your agent about that for sure. Like, and then So
have you guys seen the lender meme? This makes me so happy. I saw it just the other day. It was a video, and it was your client calling to tell you that they're going with another lender, like your friend or your family member.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's great. You're under contract. So have you bought a new car? You should definitely get a new car. Now that you have a contract, have you thought about buying that washer and dryer? Oh, yeah. Oh, quit your job? Yeah, you're good. You've got your contract now. You're good.
Yeah, that's funny.
I have seen that one. Right?
That's hilarious.
So I guess my perspective, because it just recently happened to somebody in my family, right? So it's like, it happens to everybody.
Sure.
And your friends or my friends and family, your guys' friends and family, they certainly have the right to use whomever they want to use. And I firmly believe that, right? The part that bothers me, where my heart goes sideways, is when that friend or family member doesn't have the
Huevos.
nerve. Yes, thank you. To communicate that.
Yeah.
Right.
For
And
sure.
so then you hear it through the
The
gossip
decency.
grapevine or whatever. And that's when feelings get hurt. It's like,
Yeah.
guys, you have the right to use whoever you want. However, at that point, pick up the phone or say, hey, God, I love you, whatever. However, this is what I feel most comfortable with. Great. Thank you for that communication. Right.
Yeah.
So not that it doesn't suck when they don't use you, but they do have the right to use whoever they want to use. And sometimes we have to look in the mirror and say, did I actually educate them that, I'm a realtor?
Sure.
Kind of thing.
I just need to give a shout out to my family. If you're watching this, you guys have never done that to me. And I'm really
There you
yes.
go.
I have not been so lucky.
I love you, family. Thank you. I've got the best family.
Well, I think with the family, the one of the hardest ones is new builds, right? Where people are just like, oh, I could do a new build all on my own. And I've had both situations. I've had where clients have stopped in the office. They're like, I'm not doing anything unless you let me call my agent, and either he gets here or you put him on the contract now. And then they did that. And then I've had people that are like, oh, I was just out and about, and I've given them the education. And they're like, we just stopped in, signed in, and looked for under contract. I'm like, cool.
But that's happened to all of us too.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, absolutely.
Yes. Well, I'll never forget.
That is
Go ahead, Karen. Your turn.
I was just going to say, that's a conversation that is really hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's not hard to say. Maybe I need to think about how I'm saying it. It's hard to get it through to some people that even if you just want to go in and see what color sofa is in the decoration, you can't. And it's really very interesting.
Yep.
Yeah.
It
goes back to just being able to give examples of like, I was able to get my buyer, an extra $10,000 in incentives because I knew the game to play, and then the other guys didn't, and or whatever. But it's frustrating.
You guys are gonna laugh at me, and this is a true story. There was a time, and I was licensed in Texas at the time, where new construction was super hot, and I literally went through my entire A and A+ database and registered them with all the builders.
Oh wow!
I did, because it was just like happening left and right.
Yeah.
Okay. And I was being coached at the time, and my coach is like, take the next 2 hours and just register them all with, whatever it is, Lennar, Toni Morrison, whatever. Just go in there and.
I feel like I could get ChatGPT to do that with some kind of
probably could
register all my clients.
I know Charlotte could. If you can't figure it right, just get Charlotte. She'll tell you how.
Yeah. Yep. I figured I could get that prompt going.
Yeah. Sure. All right, cool. Well, thank you. We're a little over, so thank you. This was awesome. Any other last tidbits of advice or anything you want? This is the time before I click the end stream button.
No.
Find
Thanks
somebody
for having
that's
me. It was fun.
I was just gonna say, find somebody that'll make sure and keep you straight and not let you dictate the conversation. If you need that, you've got time.
Thank you. Well, I did, and I know this is going to sound a little ouchy to Ryan and Charlotte, maybe not so much Karen, because she's very used to it. I did have a client that I said, we've been coaching, I want to say 9 years, and this 1 year the needle just hasn't moved much at all. And so I pointed that out, like, what's happening this year, like that, I've got clients who are hiring assistants and, adding agents to their brokerage, and we seem to be stuck for the last, what are we in, eighth month now? And that felt ouchy, right? I'm like,
sure.
Which, of course, you tell somebody then, and I know now because she's so competitive, it's moving. That needle's going to move now, I hope. But yeah, sometimes we all get stuck. That's life, right? Yeah. So anyway, yes, everybody out there that listens to this either now or later, you want some coaching advice, lending advice, realtor advice, brokerage advice, we're here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so Ryan, I will see you Monday.
Yep. See you Monday.
And then Karen, thank you for your pop-up training on Tuesday.
You're welcome.
Yep. And then Charlotte, can you hang back for just a minute?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So bye everybody. I'm ending the stream.
Bye guys.